Where are your parents?
Where are your parents? They're dead.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/LegbeardStories. Hooray! It's been just a little bit. I've been stuck on Neckbeards for a minute, but you know them LegbeardStories stories, relatively rare. I've been holding it for the right moment to finish off this Kreepy Kali saga. 3 delicious parts. We're going to be jumping into the 3rd part today. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, those links are in the description for your use. She has consistently proven herself to be a weirdo. I promise you that she's not as adorable as my wife makes her sound. But I'm really enjoying the saga. I'm sad to see user Athelian step away for a minute, but that's okay. I'm sure there will be some more sagas. You come on back, write us something new. Although I wouldn't wish beard encounters on anybody. But with all that said, before I get too rambly, I suppose we'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will jump right into some delicious Legbeard cringe. Legbeard, the saga of Kreepy Kali, part 3, a girl and her pearls. I thought diamonds are a girl's best friend. Greetings, I'm back with the final part to wrap this story up. We left off with my mistake of giving Kreepy Kali my phone number in a quest for some fire juice acquired from the goon known only as Matrix Beard. This unfortunate decision led to Kreepy Kali obsessively calling my house to the point where my parents had dubbed her the stalker. Yeah, I had a couple of those. Cast, OP, 16 at the time, female, noodle for a spine, unable to say how I would feel if it would hurt somebody else's feelings. Legbeard, Kreepy Kali, the tenacious one. Pearl was Kreepy Kali's mystery friend. Ash, the Allen Frog to my Edgar, the Gimli to my Legolas, the Garth to my Wayne, my lovely best friend to this day. Alright, why you gotta be Gimli though? Nobody wants to be Gimli, bro. Alex, the 3rd amigo to my trio, Ash's high school boyfriend, and my very close friend. We begin with an encounter of the 3rd kind. A visit from an actual friend, and not a 25-year-old man of Kreepy Kali's. Let's dive in. I'm glad she has friends around her own age. You know, that's important. You can't be hanging around 25-year-old men all the time. Where are your parents? It was a gloomy day, with dark clouds looming above, and Kreepy Kali had asked me to walk out to the student parking lot once again to aid her in obtaining some shots for her photography class. As we neared the lot, a girl who looked like a young version of a grandma waved us down. She wore a flowery dress with curled hair that was pulled back into a style reminiscent of the 1950s. She greeted Kreepy Kali, who introduced us, and we gave the obligatory highs and hellos that are customary for a first-time meeting. And after that, I didn't say a word. I was dead tired and not really much in the mood for talking. After a few minutes, her friend inquired about my silence and asked if I was okay, possibly because of the drained look that I wore on my face. I told her that, yeah, I was fine, just a little tired, and wanting to make sure that she didn't think it was her, I explained how I hadn't been sleeping that well over the last few days, and I had resorted to drinking a cap full of NyQuil to conk out and recharge my batteries. And I tell you right now, if she had pearls, she would have clutched them. Pearl, you shouldn't do that. That's like doing drugs. OP, it's cough syrup. One capful ain't gonna kill you, especially not of NyQuil. NyQuil doesn't even have codeine in it anymore. If you're drinking a cup full of lean, then we got something to talk about, but just a little sippy sip to knock out. Bro, I get that. My mom used to do that to me. When she's having a hard time with us kids, it's bedtime. She's like, okay, cap full of NyQuil, out. I haven't done it to my own children, but God, I have thought about it. Anyways, she looked at me like I had transformed into an addict right before her eyes.
Do I look like the kind of guy that would do that to a kid like you? Yes!
Looking for a fix of that grade A syrup to blow my mind into blissful slumber. It clicked into my head as to why, if her friends were all like this girl, that mine had been so unbelievably cool in Callie's eyes. Pearl, I can't believe you do that. OP, it's not a big deal. Pearl gave me the evil eye for the rest of the encounter. Maybe she was afraid of catching a budding cough syrup addiction. You gotta watch out. One cough, you could be drinking NyQuil every night. It's terrible. I don't really know. But it had certainly set the stage. Coincidentally, it was around this time that, while waiting after school to be picked up, I met a girl who I would describe very loosely as an acquaintance. Kind of a friend of a friend. I knew of her enough to know her name, since we had run in the same social circles quite a few times, but I had never actually spoken to her. Bored and alone, I ventured out and struck up a conversation. Like me, she lived too far away from school to walk home, and waited over an hour due to a parent who worked late. Sucks. Well, wouldn't you know it, we got to talking, and we found that we had a startling amount of things in common. Within 30 minutes of speaking to each other, it felt like we'd been friends for a long time. That right feeling clicked, and we made plans right then and there to meet up again the next day. Same time, same place. She brought her boyfriend along, and as it turned out, I got along with him as well, and we decided to make it a regular thing. So the friend of a friend is Ash, I think. It wasn't explicitly stated, I'm just reading between the lines here. A few days later, I walked in the door after hanging out at Ash's house and was promptly informed, "Your stalker's been calling," by my extremely annoyed mother. I called Kreepy Kali up to stop her from bursting a blood vessel, and Kreepy Kali let me know that she'd obtained the contraband from LegbeardStories. With the LegbeardStories encounters now far in my mind, I'd completely forgotten about it. How long did it take that beardo to get a thing of booze? What's going on here? He could have just taken the money and run. I'd be thinking about that every day. Don't screw with my money, I'm gonna come after you. Especially in high school where you don't have that much money. Oy. Anyways, Kreepy Kali sounded so excited that I just didn't have it in me to try and back out. I told myself, it was just one day, it wouldn't be so bad. So I had her make sure that it hadn't been tampered with. And although I already slightly regretted it, the board was set and the plan was made. The next Friday, I walked with her through a few neighborhoods until we made it to a cul-de-sac in which she resided. Her parents weren't home, and she wanted to drink at her house, but I told her I preferred to drink outdoors, which was true. We found a nice little secluded spot that was out of view of any of her neighbors, and she retrieved 2 cups from her home and pulled the item in question out of her bag. Drinking outdoors is pretty cool. Day drinking is also pretty cool.
This is day drinking Stewie, on the patrol for fatties.
I hope there's no kids listening to this. I sighed internally when I saw what it was because, of course, it was that. LegbeardStories had picked out the absolute worst drink known in existence. Butterscotch schnapps. Bruh, you couldn't get some peppermint or something? Like, basically any schnapps besides the butterscotch ones. You drink it, you feel like you're kissing your grandma. Now, I was a teenager. I'd drink what I could get my hands on at that age, and I didn't make the trip for nothing, so I tried to choke down some of the sickly sweet concoction, but I threw in the towel after 2 attempts when my stomach started to churn in response. I could handle straight vodka, but not that Oompa Loompa splooge. Oompa Loompa splooge. Oh, bro. That is evocative. I apologized to Kreepy Kali, who looked grateful when I told her that I couldn't drink it and dumped hers out as well. We stashed the bottle in some bushes like an unwanted child. Ah, you're killing me. And I attempted to make light of it by summoning my inner pastor and saying a few words over the loss.
Good night, sweet prince.
We emerged from the brush and shrubbery onto the road, with Kreepy Kali cackling in her own special way. We rounded the corner and there she was, clutching her proverbial pearls. She was still giving me the eye, and I didn't know if she lived nearby and it was purely coincidence, or if Kreepy Kali had made her privy to our plan and she had hauled herself over from God knows where to bear witness to my corruption. But with her arms crossed, she did indeed pass her judgment. Pearl, wow, you guys are smashed. Yeah, bro, those 2 drinks really got to me. Well, that answered that. I, being disappointingly stone cold sober, denied it, but it was clear by Pearl's disapproving stare that she had no idea what a drunk person was and didn't believe it, and I really didn't care enough to try and convince her. Save your breath. She followed after us, giving off her angry Karen vibes. How is this like 15-year-old girl just a version of a grandma and a Karen? It's the funniest mental image ever. Oh, I felt her eyes burning a hole into the back of my head all the way to Kreepy Kali's house, where Pearl stiffly told Kreepy Kali that she'd see her on Monday. And she left. We went inside and I was greeted by her dogs. I'm gonna brace myself in advance because I know just how bad a Legbeard house can get. But she had 2 small Russell Terriers that she said were brothers. I pet and played with them for a minute, and then we headed up to her room. Her room was pretty plain, thank God. It was spotless and had some school-related items around. Nothing strange or wild. If anything, it was a little odd because it looked more like a guest room than a teenager's room. She turned on her laptop and played some music on iTunes, and we talked for a few minutes until she broached a subject that I would have rather avoided. Kreepy Kali.
OP, I know that you said you didn't want to hang out with Matrix Beard anymore, but he wanted me to tell you that he's sorry if he made you uncomfortable and that he didn't mean to, and if you could give him another chance, he'll make sure not to do it again. He wants to hang out at his place next weekend.
No way in hell. OP, I don't think I'd be comfortable with that. Kreepy Kali.
Why? I promise he's a good guy.
OP, I'll think about it, okay? Yeah, I'd think about it. The way that one would think about whether or not you should free dive into a septic tank. Not gonna happen. She didn't press it, thank God. And we went back to other topics until she'd asked me if I'd like some soda and some food. Hell yeah. I accepted the offer of ginger ale and a Hot Pocket. And she left to get it. Oh, Hot Pockets are second only to tendies, I tell you what. A few minutes went by and a song I didn't particularly care for came on, and I went over to her laptop to pick a different one, and I saw something peculiar. Most of the songs under the times played section were either at 0 or a very low number. I scrolled around through the music, and the only ones like that were all bands that I had mentioned that I liked, and that she had said that she also liked. Well, it's kinda nosy, OP, but I'm gonna give you a pass on this one because I feel like this girl's liable to stab you at any moment. She's like, if I can't have you, nobody can. It didn't take a rocket scientist or neckbeard scientist because they are on equal intellectual footing, honestly. For me to put 2 and 2 together. That it appeared she had lied and only recently downloaded all that music. I wouldn't have minded her just asking for recommendations, but the lying was a little much and it just didn't sit right with me. This led me to an action that I have never repeated or even felt the need to repeat since. I decided to try and confirm her lie by clicking on her browser and opening up the search history. Oh God. Okay, I can't give you a pass on this one. This is like the worst guessed action you can ever have. You want to know what's in my search history? No, you don't. You definitely don't. Talk about TMI, man. You're getting to know somebody a little bit too much. I scrolled a bit, looking specifically for the names of the bands, and sure enough, there it sat. A list of Google searches of each band and its members, with things like X band's most popular songs, how many albums does X band have, and the like. I moused through, and that was when I noticed my name. Oh shit. I kept scrolling, and I saw my social media pages in a stack of links. Worse than that, it was not only just mine, but my new friends as well. Even scrolling through it as quickly as possible, because I was worried she'd come back upstairs at any moment, it was massive, as if she had clicked on every single picture or post. There were brackets of other things between them, but it was clear that she had gone back to mine and their social media pages repeatedly. I utilized the search bar and saw that she had been doing this for a long, long time. Ugh. This is the part where I have to give a disclaimer about being careful about what you post online. Social media is cool. You know what I mean? It's super convenient. You can stay connected with people, but there are also people that you aren't necessarily connected with that are clicking through your stuff, basically at any point of the day. So take it seriously. Vet the things you post before you actually post them. I'm probably not the poster child for that, but it's definitely a good piece of advice. Once again, part of me feels bad for Kreepy Kali because it is like, she's just trying to make friends. She's just trying to figure out the best way to fit in. And honestly, I've researched people before on social media as well. Going out on a date with this girl, well, let's see if she has any priors. You know what I mean? You see a girl with a prior for spousal abuse or something, and you're like, nope. I'm gonna pass on this date, thanks. It's a little different for friends, a little more strange, but also a little bit less serious, if you understand where I'm coming from. But is it weird? Absolutely. That is so far over the line. Although OP's breaching privacy right now too, so maybe it's just two peas in a pod. I don't mean to take shots at you, OP. You good? Like I said, she might come back upstairs with a knife right now. I guess we'll see. Feeling a little freaked out and nervous, I closed it and set iTunes back up on the screen. I heard the slam of a microwave door as I walked out of her room, and Kreepy Kali was nearing the bottom of the stairs, about to make her way up when I reached the balcony.
Excuse me, it's my favorite part.
I gave myself a brief second of focus to make sure my facial expression was somewhat normal before she joined me at the top and handed me a glass of the bubbly and a steamy Hot Pocket. OP, thanks. Kreepy Kali.
Do you want to play some games? I got an Xbox downstairs.
I wanted to leave, but that became a side thought because over her shoulder, I saw her two terriers wiggling around in a mass on the floor downstairs. Are your dogs fighting or something? I leaned over the railing to get a better view. Out of all the weird shit that I have ever seen in my life, nothing quite made me question reality more than the sight that was sitting before my very own eyes. Oh no, they were not fighting. No. What they were doing was moving around on the floor, aggressively licking each other's dongs. Oh God. And they're brothers. Jesus, dude. I've been around dogs my whole life. I've never seen anything like that. What the hell? All I could say is nope, 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 nope. I took that as a message from some divine being to just get the hell out of Dodge. And after she had yelled at them to get them to stop, I downed my drink, made my excuses and apologies, and left. I hauled it back to school, bummed a cell phone off a straggler, and tried to call my dad and asked if he could come and get me. I decided that night that I was done, that it was just all too unsettling. Nothing about her had been normal. Nothing about her friends had been normal. Her incest dogs definitely had not been normal. Quite simply, she just wasn't a type of weird that I could deal with anymore. My gut said run, so I was gonna do just that. All the while, my budding friendship with Ash and Alex had been blossoming like we'd been given Miracle Grow. I knew that I couldn't actively avoid Kreepy Kali, mainly because I still had no fucking clue where she hung out or who she hung out with, besides Pearl. Luckily for me, the place that my little trio commandeered was mostly out of sight of the feeding grounds, dubbed the Zeppelin Wall, due to a mural, and that offered me a safety net from running into her too often, though I would come home to a pissed off mother pretty frequently from her incessant phone calls. But I ignored them. Couldn't you block the number? Call a phone company and be like, hey, don't let them call me no more. I felt bad about it despite everything, but ignore it and maybe it will go away was the only way that I could manage to tell people to leave me alone, since I didn't actually have the balls to just go up to someone and tell them, go the fuck away because I know you're cyber stalking me and my friends. You don't gotta go that over the top with it. You could just be like, well, I don't see our friendship working out. I don't really want to be friends with you. And then comes the why. I guess it's gonna come to that anyways. But if you're gonna make that statement, don't give them both barrels at the start, you know? Make it a conversation. Explain why it's creepy. I mean, you shouldn't really have to, but I have no idea what her parents are like. They could be total nut jobs despite having a clean house, so Kreepy Kali is definitely a hard one to pin down. I'm not sure what to make of it all. It wasn't until about 3 weeks in, while I was talking with Ash, that Kreepy Kali materialized, seemingly from another dimension. Kreepy Kali.
Hey, Opie, where have you been?
I was so startled by her sudden appearance that all I did was stumble over a return greeting. Hey. She looked at Ash and stuck her finger 2 inches from her face and said,
I've seen you before.
I knew exactly where she had seen her before. I tried to laugh it off and pulled her hand down. Yeah, you know it's rude to point. Ash was giving me a, what the fuck? Is this her? Kind of look, and I gave back a, yep. Fortunately, the bell was close to ringing, so she didn't stick around for very long. After that day, we decided to just walk around the school at lunch, far from the feeding grounds. A tactic that ended up working like a charm. I also used Ash's locker instead of mine. Bro, this is like next level avoidance. Strawberry Belle from the story we did yesterday. Are you listening? Are you taking notes on this? Use somebody else's locker. That's ingenious. It shouldn't come to that, but it is ingenious. I only ran into Kreepy Kali a few times, by chance, and never with enough time to accidentally allow her to just leech onto me ever again. Over the course of the rest of the school year, her calls finally began to dwindle, and then slowed to a halt. Since it was her senior year, she wouldn't be returning, and there would only be one more time that I would ever see Kreepy Kali again. It was months and months later. I was walking with some friends down the side of the road when my name was screamed from a car that was driving by. I only had a few seconds to glance over and see Kreepy Kali hanging out of the window of a truck before it was gone. Was she being kidnapped? My friend asked me, who was that? And I answered, no idea. We have reached the end, officially, of the Kreepy Kali saga. It's been interesting dredging these stories back up in my mind, and for the few people that I've told these stories to in the past, to see them fully fleshed out in detail instead of just my usual quick verbal retelling. And as seemed to be my luck back then, as one beard left, Another would enter with the start of a new school year and a new set of classes. Uh-oh. So I have one more story left to go relating to beards. This time, a neckbeard. And then I'm tapped. I'll get around to it eventually. Oh, thank God. You have brought such joy and laughter to us. I'm glad it's not over quite yet. Warm and friendly greetings to ReddX and to everyone else. Enjoy the rest of your day. So, Kreepy Kali probably goes on like the lowest rung of the neckbeard tier list. She's not exceedingly horrible as a legbeard as far as they go. She just kind of doesn't really know how to interact with people or draw boundaries. But it still is invasive. It still is beard-like behavior. So we gotta peg her as a legbeard. You know what I mean? No self-awareness, no self-improvement. And I do find it unfortunate that OP didn't have the spine to step up and be like, look, here's what's wrong. You can change this and we can be friends, or you can continue on your way without me. Because that's really the only way to save a beard from themselves, you know? Is just to give them a spark of reality, a bit of realization, and then they go, wow, is that really how people see me? And slowly, they might start to turn it around. Kreepy Kali is probably creeping on some other people, wherever that truck kidnapped her off to. I know she probably wasn't actually kidnapped. I probably shouldn't even joke about kidnapping, but doesn't that make the story funnier? It does to me, because my sense of humor is sick. And that's why I dig through beard stories basically every single day of the week. But I mostly do it for you guys, you know. If you appreciate the cringe, I hope that you like, comment, and or subscribe on the video. Maybe share this one around, or rather the first part of this one. Eventually I will compile them all together, but I want to wait a good long time just so people who have forgotten about it can be reeled back in, and the views don't suffer, because the algorithm doesn't like it when videos don't get good views, you know? And if you're gonna play YouTube for reels, you gotta bend over backwards for the algorithm. So thank you guys for boosting my rating, getting my channel out there. I just had somebody hit me up on Twitter today. They're like, oh, I was watching D&D horror stories and your channel popped up as a suggestion. Yes, the expansion is working, bro. I knew dipping into RPG horror stories was not a dumb idea. It's definitely beard adjacent. There's a gigantic audience, and most of the storytellers in that genre are super serious, which I am super not. So hopefully I can, get my thumb in there, make a dent at the very least. But you all know that I will keep those beard stories coming. Wow, that was a tangent too. I'm really off on it today. Anyways, I hope you check out the links in the description. My personal subreddit, r/ReddXReads, is where this saga was posted. We've also got the Teespring if you're looking to rock the merch. My Amazon affiliate link. If you're going to buy something on Amazon, please do it through that link. And then you can like break me off a little bit, which is super sweet. And we also got Wifey's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX. We're mostly doing Praying Mantis over there. We did creepy asterisks yesterday. I hope you'll check that out. And of course, there's the social media, which I warned you guys about in this story. We got the Discord, the Twitter, the Facebook. Oh, and how could I almost forget my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. Yes, indeed. You're seeing some names on the screen right now, and I would like to thank them all. But specifically, Zero MMX, Lady Nix, Robert Waits, Pope Squid, Rebecca H, Cider Drinker, Tato Fair, The Last Shinobi, Mark 211, Michael Undead, Aaron W, Mitch, John Hero, Candy Sora, DigiNZ, Fire Drake, Little Lone Wolf, Ms. Monday, Silent Revolver, JM Coon, Leon Embers, TSM Kirby, Redwind, Synaptic Boomstick, Jerry, Staples, Yeet, and Davindra. I definitely appreciate you guys helping out the channel, supporting in any way possible, because demonetization does happen from time to time. We get into a little bit of edgier content over here, so the less I have to sweat it, the better. Eventually, I hope we'll be freed completely from like needing to worry about monetization, and then I can make videos on whatever I want, as long as it's within community guidelines. There's just always something, isn't there? Anyways, if anybody else can support, I hope that you will. It is massively appreciated, helps us out so much, and I thank you very much in advance. But if you can't, don't sweat it too hard. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. Because really, the views is how my beard stays so buttered. Keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today, like watching some more ReddX videos. Hey, that's so good. I love that idea. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I will see you in the next one. And until then, bye-bye.